Hi, and welcome to the Meat Minute. I'm Stacy Zelli here at Purdue University, a meat science extension specialist. And what we're going to talk about in this video is high temperature cooking of meat. High temperature cooking is anytime we're using a temperature for our cooking element greater than 350 degrees. So if we think about an electric skillet, or maybe even using our stovetop, or an oven when we've got it set above 350. Or of course, this time of year is a great time to be grilling. And if you're grilling, you're generally going to have that heat up quite a bit higher than 350 degrees. This is a wonderful way to cook meat. It's very fast, it's very effective, but we want to make sure we're using it with the right cuts of meat. The types of cuts that we're going to want to put in high temperature cooking are ones that are going to be more tender. So things like a good steak, our chops, kebabs, burgers, brats. All of those are wonderful examples of meat products that don't really have too many problems with tenderness. Because when we use high temperature cooking, we end up actually adding a lot of heat to that meat, and it causes it to shrink and actually get tougher. So it's very important that we're using the right cuts. The other thing that's important is that, again, we are really monitoring the temperature that we have of our cooked product. And so in doing that, if you watched our previous video, we talked about the importance of having a good meat thermometer. Whenever you're cooking using high temperature cooking, it's really important to make sure we're watching that temperature. And when you want to check it, you want to make sure you always pull that product up off the grill or skillet and insert that thermometer, again, from the side. That's going to give you a far more accurate reading of the temperature of that product. And make sure you take a look at what the safe temperatures are for your items. For instance, in ground products, we want those temperatures to be around 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Whereas, let's say a steak, you can actually cook it a lot lower. 140 degrees would be a rare steak. So make sure you take a look at those different temperatures that you want to make sure your product ends at. Last but not least, whenever you're using high temperature cooking, you want to make sure you account for the fact that that product is still going to be cooking when you pull it off the grill or skillet. Generally, depending on how you're cooking it, it'll raise about 5 degrees higher just from when you remove it, because it's going to keep cooking. Now, if you're using something like a clamshell grill, such as a George Foreman, where you're bringing heat from both sides, that, because you're bringing so much more heat, might actually increase by about 10 degrees. So make sure that when you pull it off of the grill, you allow it some time to rest. That last 5 or 10 degrees will allow it to finish out its cook cycle, and you'll end up having an overall better eating experience. But of course, take that into account. So again, we'll go back to our steak example. If you want a medium rare steak, and you want it to be about 150 degrees, make sure you pull it off at about 145. So again, make sure you're always monitoring your cooking element temperature and the temperature of your product to ensure an overall great eating experience. We look forward to seeing you again in the future at another Meat Minute.